Hello friends, welcome to Eng-lane English classroom. Today we discuss 9th grade English, Unit 1 Aspire to Win, Lesson 2 Learning the Game. We have discussed part 1, you remember? This is an excerpt from Sachin's autobiography, Playing It My Way. You remember that, right? What were the main ideas in that part? Sachin loved the cricket even when he was very young, didn't he? Yeah. How did you know that? He played cricket with his friends and he emulated the cricket legends then. Who took Sachin to the summer camp? You know, his brother Ajit. And with what intention? Yes, with an intention of getting trained under veteran coach Ajit sir. How old was Sachin then? He was only 11, the same age that Ajit sir started playing cricket. Could he impress the coach in his first attempt? No, because he cannot perform well because there were many people looking at him. Was Sachin given admission to the summer camp at last? Yeah, certainly. Ajit insisted sir on giving one more chance and he got an admission to the summer camp. Okay, dears? Now you know all these things. You are very nice children. Now read this sentence or these sentences. This time sir agreed to let me join the camp. I was delighted and I must say it was an opportunity that transformed my life. These are Sachin's words. What's it about? Is it about summer camp? If so, how was that camp? Shall we read the next part of the excerpt? We can learn everything about the camp. Ready, dears? You should read with me. Don't forget to read with me. The camp involved a session every morning and evening at Shivaji Park. I would practice between 7:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. in the morning. And I'd come back in the afternoon and practice till late evening. The schedule was rigorous and I would be exhausted by the end of the day. Traveling to Shivaji Park took 40 minutes from my house in Bandra and I had to catch an early morning bus to make it on time. For the first few days, Ajit accompanied me to get me used to the routine. During the bus journeys, he would talk to me about the nuances of batting and I always enjoyed these conversations a lot. In fact, the one thing that I have kept with me all my career is a note that Ajit gave me containing some thoughts about batting. It served as a very personal coaching manual. As a child, I had only one set of cricket gloves and the routine was to wash them as soon as I had returned from the morning session. While I had my lunch, the clothes would dry out in the sun and I would wear them again in the afternoon. A pattern repeated in the evening so that I could use the same set of clothes the following morning. The system worked well apart from my pockets. There was never quite enough time for pockets to dry out completely and for the entire duration of camp I played with the wet pockets. By the middle of the summer camp, sir had started taking an active interest in my batting and at the end of the 2 months informed Ajit that I had the potential to be a good cricketer if I practiced all year round. However, my school, the New English School in Bandra, did not have cricket facilities and sir was keen for me to change schools if I wanted to pursue cricket seriously. Okay, dears, I think you have read with me Now, shall we think of some ideas in that paragraph? When and where was the camp? Okay, right. It was in the Shivaji Park. There were two sessions, evening and morning. Where was Sachin's house? It was in Badla. How did he travel to Shivaji Park? By bus. What served as a very personal coaching manual for him? The note given by Ajit served as a very personal coaching manual for him. The system worked well. What was the system? I think you got it. To wash the clothes, again dry it out and again wash it, then wear it. That system worked well. Sir keen for him to change schools. Why? Because his school, the new English school, had no enough facilities for cricket. So, Sir was keen for him to change schools if he wanted to pursue cricket seriously. Which are the schools mentioned here? You remember two schools. The new English school in Bandra and Shardashram Vidya Mandir. Okay, well yes, you got these ideas. Now, what do these two paragraphs contain? Can you suggest a title for this part? Okay. Don't worry, let us read it once again silently, then you will get the holistic idea, complete idea of this. You don't forget to note important words. Okay, read silently, read on. What can be the title for this part? I have a suggestion. You might have got better one, but I am going to give you one suggestion, that is summer camp at Shivaji Park. Okay? Right? Now, let us revisit those paragraphs again. You please try to answer these questions. How many sessions did the camp involve? Two sessions. Which were they? Morning and evening. Where was the camp held? At the Shivaji Park. What was the time schedule of morning session? 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And what about the afternoon or evening session? This started in the afternoon and it lasted till late evening. How was the schedule? It was rigorous, it was very strict, it was very severe, it was very intense. What was its result? Sachin would be exhausted by the end of the day. How did he travel to the Shivaji Park? You know, he travelled to Shivaji Park by bus. Where was Sachin's house? It was in Bandra. How long did it take to reach Shivaji Park from Bandra? Okay, 40 minutes, right? Then how did he manage to reach there on time? He caught an early morning bus. For the first few days, someone accompanied Sachin. Who was that? That was his brother Ajit. And what did they talk while traveling? They talked about the nonsense of batting. And did Sachin enjoy these conversations? Certainly he enjoyed it because he was very much interested in cricket. And what did Ajit give him? Ajit gave him a note containing some thoughts about batting. How does he describe that note? It is a personal coaching manual. Okay, yes. Now, how many sets of cricket clothes did Sachin have? Only one. And what was his routine? He would wear it and he would wash them as soon as he had returned from morning session. Then again dry it out, again wear them, again wash it, then wear it during evening session, and again wash it. And did this system work well? Yes, it worked, except for his pockets. Why was it a failure in the case of pocket? Because there was no enough time for the pocket to dry out completely. When did Sir start taking an active interest in Sachin's batting? By the middle of the summer camp. And when did he inform Ajit that Sachin had capability to be a good cricketer? That is at the end of the 2 months. But he put forward a condition. What was the condition? He should practice all year round. Which was Sachin's school then? The New English School in Bandra. What was the limitation with that school? It did not have enough cricket facilities, and Sir was very eager for him to change schools if he wanted to pursue cricket seriously. Okay, right, yes. Now we are going deep to this again. These 2 paragraphs contain details about Sachin's routine at the summer camp. No doubt you got it. Please collect data of Sachin's timetable from the passages and prepare a timetable of Sachin's daily routine during the summer camp. I am going to provide you with a table. You may use the hints given. Right? Clear, yes? Morning session. What was duration? And when does he start? What was the mode of conveyance? And during the journey, what did they do? Starting the practice, what time? Morning session ends at what time? After reaching home, what would he do? Again, the same duration, starting from home, mode of conveyance, practice ends after reaching home. You have to do it yourself with the help of the paragraphs. Okay? Now, after doing it, you take these things and you can complete the table and compare your writing with the table. Okay? You should do that, yes. That will be very helpful. Now, we can answer the scaffolding questions. They are very simple, yes. You can do it yourself. Why did Sachin feel that the schedule of the camp was rigorous? You know that it is there. You have to write it yourself and compare the answers with the samples answers given in the notes along with this video. What served Sachin as a very personal coaching manual? We have already discussed that. You can do that. That's why I am not repeating the answers. The system worked well apart from my pockets. What is the system referred to here by Sachin? We have discussed it. Why was Sachin asked to change school? That too we have discussed. And you can write it yourself and you have to compare the answers with what is there in the notes attached with this video. There will be sample answers. You can have the idea may be same, but you can have your own language. Okay, now let us discuss the paragraphs in details. First, let us see the words. Involve means ulpaduga. English meaning you see, have or include something as a necessary or integral part. Routine means dinacharya, a sequence of actions regularly followed. Schedule, a plan, the paddhati, for carrying out a process or procedure. Rigorous, careful, thorough and exact. Otherwise, strict or severe, we can have different meanings. Make it as an idiom to succeed in doing something. Accompany means go somewhere with someone as a companion or escort. Otherwise, go along with kuda poga ennarthullu, right? Nonsense means very slight differences. Contain, to hold inside. Contain, you got it here, that packet contains these and these things. Serve means to be useful to or to meet the needs of. Manual means a handbook. Think the words are clear. Now let us discuss this in detail. The camp involved a session every morning and evening at Shivaji Park. The camp was in Shivaji Park. There were two sessions. One is in the morning and the other is in the evening. And the morning session was between 7:30 and 10:30. And the evening session was, or it started in the afternoon and lasted till late evening. Clearly, yes, that schedule, the timetable was very strict, or it was very severe. That plan was very severe. That means because of it, he would be exhausted by the end of the day. He would be tired. We have learned the word exhausted in the lesson, the race. You remember that? And it took 40 minutes to travel from his house in Bandra to Shivaji Park, right? And he had to catch an early morning bus to reach there on time, right? And for the first few days, his brother Ajit went with him to get used to the routine. Then, during the bus journeys, Ajit would talk to him about the nonsense of batting, and Sachin enjoyed those conversations a lot. He says, in fact, the one thing he had kept with him is a note that Ajit gave him containing some thoughts about batting. That means Ajit gave him a note in which there are some thoughts about batting. It served as a very personal coaching manual. He says that helped him as a very personal coaching handbook. Right, it is. Now let us move on to next paragraph. See the words pattern, an arrangement, or see a regular intelligible form or sequence discernible in the way in which something happens or is done. That means arrangement, right? And apart from means except for, quite. You note the spelling, please. Q-U-I-T-E, not Q-U-I-E-T. By T-E, that's adverb. That means absolutely, completely, purnamayam. Entire means whole. Potential means latent qualities or abilities that may be developed and lead to future success. What it is? Potential, capabilities. Facility means Saugarya, that is a place, amenity or piece of equipment provided for a particular purpose. Keen means having or showing eagerness or enthusiasm. You know that. Pursue means we have learned it in the first lesson. Somehow to do or achieve something over a period of time. To work for a long period of time to achieve something, right? Now let us discuss it. As a child, I had only one set of cricket clothes. Sachin, when he was a child, he had only one set of cricket clothes. And what did he do? He washed them as soon as I had returned. I did. That's a conductor for me. You have to note that. If it is I, you can read it out, but you have to know that if after that, if there is a V1 verb or verb in V1 form, that is I would. But if there is a verb in V3 form, that is I had, right? I had returned from, that means here it means Sachin washed his clothes after he had returned from morning session. Then he dried it out. Or the clothes would dry out in the sun. and then he would wear them again in the afternoon session, that is in the evening session. Again he repeat the same pattern, that is after the evening session he would wear it and try it out, then wear the same set in the following in the morning session, next morning session. And this system worked well, but it was a failure with his pockets, because there was no enough time for the pocket to tie out completely. You know that it is our own experience. So for the whole duration of the camp we played with wet pockets. By the middle of the summer camp, Sir started taking an active interest in Sachin's batting, and at the end of the 2 months, Sir informed Ajit that he had the potential to be a good cricketer, but there was a condition: he should practice all year round. However, school was, then he was in the new English school in Bandra. It did not have cricket facilities, and Sir was keen for him to change schools if he wanted to pursue cricket seriously. Okay, dears. Now, main ideas. See, in this part, you can see the details of the camp, summer camp. The other things we can, in brief, we can say like this: Sachin was very sincere in his practice, and he never made any compromise with the practice sessions, both in the morning and the evening. Clear, dears? Now you can watch this.
International matches. We are all very, very lucky. We are all very... My life between 22 yards for 24 years. It's hard to believe that that wonderful journey is coming to an end. This is my story.
From a very early age, Sachin played tennis ball cricket with his colony friends. Sachin was then studying in the New English School, Mumbai. His brother, Ajit, one day took him to Achareko Sir, the cricket coach, who gave due importance to the game of cricket. Sachin was 11 years when he went to him for the first time. Sachin had never batted in the nets. When he was asked to bat, he was not at all comfortable, with Sir watching him so closely. Sachin failed to make an impact. Sir called Ajit aside and informed him that Sachin was too young to make the camp and suggested that he should bring him back when he was a little older. His brother Ajit explained that Sachin was nervous and asked Sir to give him one more opportunity, and suggested that Sir should pretend to go away and then watch him from a distance. He felt more at ease and soon started to hit the ball well. This time, Sir agreed to let him join the camp, and he was so delighted. Sachin would practice between 7:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. in the morning, and then he would come back in the afternoon and practice till late evening. The schedule was rigorous. For the first few days, Ajit accompanied him to get him used to the routine. During the bus journeys, he would talk to Sachin about the nuances of batting, and Sachin always enjoyed these conversations a lot. One thing that that Sachin kept with him all his career is a note that Ajit gave him containing some thoughts about batting. It served as a very personal coaching manual.
Ajit, my brother, now what do I talk about him? I don't know really. We lived this dream together. He was the one who sacrificed his career for my cricket. He spotted the spark in me. And it all started from the age of 11 when he took me to Africa as my coach. And from there on my life changed.
Sir had started taking an active interest in Sachin's batting, and at the end of 2 months informed Ajit that Sachin had the potential to be a good cricketer if he practiced all year round. However, the school, the New English School in Bandra, did not have cricket facilities, and Sir was keen for him to change schools.
Okay, dears, you have watched it, and I think you got some more insight that for those paragraphs. Now let us have another easy work. Listen, this work is there. That is, we have seen that Ajit played an important role in molding a legend, that is Sachin Tendulkar. I think you agree that. And why do we agree it? Because we have seen in the video that Sachin mentions his brother in one of his speeches. And what are the things that Ajit do to support Sachin? You please take some seconds and you please think of some points. Right, you have got some. I am going to give you some points. He identified Sachin's talent in cricket. It was he who took Sachin to the camp to get trained under Ajit sir. It was Ajit who insisted on Sir giving Sachin another chance to prove his mettle, his strength. Ajit accompanied him to the camp for some days. He discussed with Sachin the nuances of batting. He gave him a note containing some of his thought about batting. He too agreed to change Sachin's school, you know that. Now what you have to do is to prepare a brief write-up on the role played by Ajit in molding a legend. A write-up, you know, there should be a title is better. Next, you can write the topic sentence, the important sentence. Title can be molding a legend, just like that you can have, that is your choice. And you can give the important points first. You can use these things and the supporting ideas and then a conclusion. You can do it yourself. Okay, dears, you should do it. Don't forget to do it. And now hope you have learned what we have discussed. Thank you for watching. Meet you again. Till then.